Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, we all use technology every single day. It's completely integrated into our lives, but I guarantee you, there are some things you don't know about the technology we use every single day. So in this video, we're diving deep, uncovering 10 mind-blowing tech facts that'll probably have you rethinking some things. I mean, you know how I love to geek out about tech. And trust me, some of these are seriously next level. We're talking about the origins of things we take for granted, the sheer scale of what's possible, and maybe even a few what the heck moments along the way. You ready to have your mind blown? Let's get into it. All right, so picture this. It's 1983, computers are just starting to become a thing regular people might actually have at home, and a 15-year-old student creates the first ever computer virus. Now, this isn't some super complicated code. We're talking about something called the ELK cloner. And the craziest part? It wasn't meant to be malicious or destructive, really. This kid, he basically created it as a prank. Think about that for a second. The very first computer virus was basically a digital whoopee cushion. It would infect Apple II computers via floppy disks, and instead of causing any real harm, it would just display this little poem on the screen. I mean, it's kind of brilliant, in a way. This teenager basically pioneered a whole new category of software, even if it was unintentional. And it just goes to show, sometimes even the most disruptive innovations can start with a simple, playful idea. From harmless pranks to, the cybersecurity landscape we have today. It's amazing to see how far things have come. Okay, so you know how we're always talking about storage space? Terabytes in our pockets, cloud storage, all that? Well, rewind back to 1980, and the first commercially available 1 gigabyte hard drive was a monster. I'm not kidding. This thing weighed over 500 pounds. Can you imagine that? It was basically the size of a refrigerator and required a forklift to move around. This behemoth was built by IBM, and it was a technological marvel for its time. But it just blows my mind to think about how much progress we've made in such a short amount of time. Think about it. Back then, 1 gigabyte could barely store a single high-res image. And now we're carrying around thousands of times that capacity in our pockets. It's incredible how quickly technology evolves, and it really makes you wonder what the future holds for storage. Will we ever reach a limit? Will we be storing data on atoms someday? It's wild to think about, but that's what makes this stuff so fascinating. All right, so you know how essential webcams are these days, right? Video calls, streaming, even just goofing off with filters. But the first ever webcam, its purpose was a little less glamorous. We're talking about a coffee pot. Seriously, back in 1991, at the University of Cambridge, researchers set up a camera in their computer lab. Why? Because they were tired of walking all the way over to the coffee pot only to find it empty. So they rigged up this camera, pointed it at the pot, and created a live feed that was accessible on the local network. This way, everyone in the lab could check the coffee situation without leaving their desks. I mean, talk about a first world problem, right? But hey, it was a problem that sparked innovation. This coffee pot cam, officially called the Trojan Room Coffee Pot, is considered the world's first webcam. It's a hilarious example of how even the simplest ideas can change the world. And who knows, maybe someday our smart refrigerators will have webcams so we can check for snacks without leaving the couch. Chapter 4, Chess Greater Than the Universe. This one's going to mess with your sense of scale a little bit. So we all know chess is a complex game, right? Millions of possible moves, endless strategies. But get this, there are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe. Let that sink in for a second. It's a number so large, it's almost impossible to comprehend. But it just goes to show you the sheer vastness of possibilities that exist within something as seemingly simple as a board game. And when you think about it in the context of technology, where things are constantly evolving and combining in new ways, it's mind-boggling. The potential for innovation is literally limitless. There are more solutions to problems, more creative ideas out there waiting to be discovered than we could ever possibly imagine. It's both humbling and incredibly exciting. Chapter 5, the OG smartphone. All right, everyone, pull out your smartphones. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, while you're probably holding the latest and greatest tech, let's rewind to 1994, the year the first true smartphone was born, the IBM Simon. This thing was chunky. It had a hefty price tag, but it was way ahead of its time. We're talking touchscreen, email, fax, even apps. all packed into this device that looked more like a brick than what we're used to today. The Simon wasn't exactly a commercial success, but it laid the groundwork for everything we love about our smartphones today. It proved that we could have it all in one device, and it pushed manufacturers to keep innovating, to keep making these devices smaller, faster, and more powerful. Looking back at the Simon, it's amazing to see how far we've come. It's a reminder that even the most revolutionary devices start somewhere, and sometimes those first steps can seem a little clunky. But hey, without the Simon, who knows what our pockets would look like today? Chapter 6. Emailing himself. This one always makes me chuckle a little bit. So imagine this. It's 1971, email is brand new, and Ray Tomlinson, the guy who invented it, sends the very first email to himself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who else was he going to email? And that's exactly the point. This was uncharted territory. He was testing the system he built. The content of that first email, legend has it that it was something along the lines of QWERTY UOP, or maybe just a string of test characters. Not exactly poetic, but hey, it was a monumental moment. Think about how far email has come since then. From a simple test message to billions of emails sent every single day, it's become an indispensable part of our lives. And to think, it all started with a guy basically sending a digital message in a bottle to himself. All right, let's talk about something that's completely changing the way we create 3D printing. It sounds like sci-fi, but this tech has been around longer than you might think. The first 3D printer was created way back in 1983 by an inventor named Chuck Hull. Now, back then, it was called stereolithography, and it was mainly used for industrial prototyping. But look at it now. 3D printing is everywhere. From creating intricate medical devices to printing houses, the possibilities are pretty much endless. It's revolutionizing manufacturing, design, even art. And as the technology gets more affordable and accessible, who knows what we'll be printing at home in the next decade? Maybe custom phone cases, maybe replacement parts for our appliances, maybe even food. The future of 3D printing is wide open, and that's what makes it so exciting. Remember how we talked about the first computer virus being from 1983? Well, that same year, something else pretty groundbreaking happened. The World Wide Web was born. And guess what? The very first website ever created is still online today. You can actually go and visit it. It's a simple page, mostly text, with links to information about the World Wide Web project. But it's a fascinating glimpse into the early days of the internet. It's like stepping back in time to see where it all began. It makes you appreciate how far we've come, from that single page to the billions of websites that exist today. All right, time for some YouTube history. Before we had epic vlogs, tutorials, or even unboxing videos, there was me at the zoo. That's right, the very first video uploaded to YouTube back in 2005 was a simple 19-second clip of a guy standing in front of elephants at the zoo. It's a pretty ordinary moment, but it marked the beginning of something extraordinary. YouTube went on to revolutionize the way we consume and share content. It's given a platform to creators around the world, and it's changed the entertainment industry forever. And to think it all started with a guy, some elephants, and a simple video camera. Who knows what future viral sensations will emerge in the years to come. This last one's a classic. So, you know how crucial the computer mouse is to, well, using a computer? But the first mouse? It wasn't exactly the sleek, ergonomic device we're used to. In fact, it was made of wood. Seriously. Douglas Engelbart, the inventor of the computer mouse, created the first prototype back in 1963 using a wooden shell. It was bulky, it didn't track very well, but it paved the way for one of the most ubiquitous input devices in computing history. It's amazing to see how far the mouse has come, from its humble wooden beginnings to the wireless multi-button marvels we have today. It's a testament to how even the simplest tools can evolve into something essential. So, there you have it. 10 mind-blowing tech facts that hopefully made you look at your devices, and maybe even the universe, a little differently. It's incredible to see how far we've come in such a short amount of time, and it makes you wonder what crazy innovations are just around the corner. What do you think? Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this trip down tech memory lane, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing content. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these mind-blowing tech facts, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next video.